Sorry for the shaky start to the video. You're going to be using the Tormach mill to complete a drill gauge project. The piece of material that I'm holding is 4" by 1.5" by 3/8 thick. If you're not sure where to find them, they're in one of the lower drawers of the red toolbox. I just pointed out right there. So it's the third drawer from the bottom of the toolbox in the very back right corner.
To turn the Tormach on, you got to come around to the side of the machine, turn the switch to the on position, open up the lower cabinet, push the power button to start the machine. If you come around and there's nothing on the screen, push the power button to make sure that it's on. And then your first step is to click on the main screen button. You have to rotate the e-stop knob, rotate the other e-stop knob, push the green button, select reset on the screen, then hit reference Z, Y, X.
Two reminders from the previous slides you just saw. Make sure that when you hit reference Z, Y, and X, you keep your hands away from all inside of the machine because the table will move to reference its position. And if you see that the red start knob is already in the on position, do not turn it off and then back on. Just leave it in the on position.
To set up the vise for the project, all you need to do is make sure that it's sitting flat and pushed against the back jaw. And bring the material so that it's flush with this edge of the vise. And then grab the handle to tighten it down. Before you hit go on the machine, have Mr. Blakely check just to make sure that it's tight enough to safely run, and then you can grab the rubber mallet to give it a hit. Don't leave these in the machine while it's running. They go back over here on the side. All the tools that we use are numbered in the top of the toolbox. For this project, all that you need is tool number 3, this right here. To load the tool in the machine, all you have to do is push the release button and slide the tool in. Make sure that when you do so, you don't have your fingers in between the spindle and the tool. So always hold on to the black section, that's what's safest. Don't grab the tool because it's really sharp. And don't have your hand near the spindle so that it can't get pinched. Before you start, make sure that the coolant is aimed relatively close to the edge of the tip. Alright, so once you get going, you've loaded tool number 3 in the machine. If you use this wheel, you can push on any one of these 3 buttons to change which axis you want to move. I'm going to push on X, and then the less you turn it, the slower it goes, so you can carefully move the tool over until it gets close to the vise. Just be really careful when you get close to the part not to move too fast. So what you want to do now is in the screen you're going to type in G54, G0, X0, Y0, Z3. And when I hit the space bar, or when I hit cycle start, I'm going to take my right hand and put it on the space bar, because if I think the tool is going to run into something I don't want it to, then I just tap the space bar. So now that you've set the machine up so that it has the correct tool in it, and you have your workpiece set flush against this edge, tighten this down, have Mr. Blakely check it. You can give this a good hit with the rubber mallet. Don't use the steel one, just use the red rubber mallet. Now you can move the next tab over to File, and you want to click on USB, drill gauge, copy from USB. So when you guys go to do this project, you don't need to use this tab anymore. You can just, from this main file menu, pick drill gauge project, double click, and you'll have a slight graphic of what it's going to do, and all the codes off here to the side. Once that's set up, you can prepare to run the machine, but just call me over to watch quickly before you get it started. Once it's going, you'll be able to do the rest on your own. Once the program is loaded, you can push cycle start. It'll lift up to the top and it'll ask if the correct tool is in the spindle. We've already installed tool number 3. So then what we can do is we can hit cycle start. And just hold our finger over top of the space bar in case we have to pause it. The next step, now that it's been rough machined and removed from the machine, is you have to come up and look at the metric tap drill chart, and you have to find the correct drill bit for an M8 by, or an M5 by 0.08, M8 by 125, M10 by 1.5, and M6 by 1. I skipped over that, sorry. So all of the sizes you need are right here, and they'll also be written down in a doc inside your workspace. Once you have found the drill sizes that you need for the sizes I mentioned, you're going to use the manual mill, set up, clamp your piece in the vise, and you're going to drill each size in through the holes here. That way we can tap the holes, and then these will just be set spotted in case we have to do any of them a second time. So the last step that you need to do is you're going to use the manual mill to drill a tap drill size for the M5, the M6, the M8, and the M10 in this center row. And then where you see this 45-degree chamfer on the side, you guys will have to use a hand file to hand file that edge off. And then these graduations are every 1/4 of an inch, so that's a small scale ruler that you can use. We'll be able to use a stone just to clean it up so that it's really nice. Everything will be written down in step by step inside your workspace. So if you're not sure, if the video doesn't quite do enough to help you out, ask me in class or have a look at the notes in the workspace.